Hello, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate, and if you are new, then welcome. I'm doing a weekly pick a card today or a weekly reading, depending on what comes out. And I do other types of readings as well. I do twin flame readings now, here and there. And then I do other pick a cards, and every now and then I'll come out with something else, and I've got lots more in the works. So, welcome. And if you're returning, then of course, welcome back. So this week, I'm feeling like there's a lot of really, there's been a lot of change. So just sort of as we discussed, or as I discussed at you last week, I was talking about, there was going to be a lot of radical change. It was going to be positive. A lot of stuff was going to shift around the end of last week. So drop a comment to let me know what that change was for you, what happened this weekend, or what happened sort of just preceding that. And was there any growth for you involved in any of that? I'm curious. I think one of the important things to be doing here is not to just consume information for the sake of consuming it, but actually to apply it directly and figure out how it's allowing you to grow. So I'm not sure which, I'm just shuffling different decks right now, so I'm not sure which decks I'm actually going to use this week. But maybe it'll be a week where I drop all the cards. So grab a drink or a tea or something like that. We'll be here for a little bit, and I will pull some cards so that we can do a pick a card, or I'll just start channeling what the general messages are for this week. Okay, I'm gonna start with the botanical cards. I actually feel like I'm not gonna do this one as a pick a card. I've been loving the Botanical Inspirations deck here. So you see me with these. These are the ones I'm really loving right now. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, make sure you're all settled and cleared. And we're not going to do the pick a card, I guess. I'm just going to read for you some different messages. So, we have Hyacinth here, which is playfulness. And then we have Tulip, which I'm feeling really, really drawn to the Tulip. It feels sort of like an overarching energy here. And it says friendship and gratitude. So it says, let us be grateful for the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. So I have been hearing in the collective and, with different clients and with my own journey as well, I've been hearing there's a lot of focus on relationships, deepening relationships, sort of redefining companionship for a lot of people. But I'm also feeling like trusting the deepening of relationships. So I'm hearing that there's a lot of people right now who are feeling like they're being put up to like tests of faith within their relationship. So you might be feeling as though there's some sort of challenge or interference or energetic disconnect between you and your person right now, but that might have been the thing that just cleared over this past weekend. So that's why I'm very curious to hear what's going on. I'm also getting with this Tulip that there's some semblance of returning to tradition. So I know that last year there was a lot of stuff with, the pandemic happening and with a lot of things that people needed to go through and needed to heal. A lot of it was like family and ancestral healing and older patterns of their lifetime. So, now coming into a place of being able to accept certain aspects of your tradition or upbringing, or yeah, I'm getting it's almost like you've left conformity and then you're deciding which pieces of it are useful to you at this time. Yeah, I'm a fan of working within the system as you're able to, and figuring out within any system that you're in. So that's not just government, right? It's like lots of different systems exist in the world. With whichever system that you're in, you're figuring out a way to navigate it that feels authentic to you, right? Because just to be lawful or abide by a system does not necessarily guarantee you're ethically sound. We see that all the time. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you're on any type of spiritual journey, you've questioned the way things are done around you, you know? Speaking of that, questioning the things that are done around you is one of those aspects of spiritual awakening. So if you're finding that you're questioning a lot, or maybe you're done questioning, I actually feel like for a lot of us in this collective, we're done questioning, where we come from or what our pathway looks like. It feels like a lot of us are like a lot more clear at this time, and so it's almost like you've stopped asking the questions now and you've started answering them for yourself. That's what I'm feeling. Hopefully that wasn't confusing. Felt like it took me on a journey there, that thought. But anyway, Sweet William is the next flower, botanical inspiration. And it's gallantry. It says, grant me with a single smile. My dad's name is William, and he's a sweet guy. So I was just like, oh, that's so nice. I haven't seen this card yet. I didn't even realize that was in here. But I associate tulips with my mom a lot. And then also her name is Rose, which is Tuba Rose is our next. And she played the tuba and the sax, I think, when she was younger. So that's actually really funny. Anyways, it's interesting because there's definitely things that happened with my parents recently, which I won't share here, but it is positive for them, but is a lot of change. So I'm getting that that's like linking us to our message here. So yeah, it's like you stopped asking questions and started acting from intuition, started acting from knowing. That might have been a recent shift that you went through as well, right? It might be that just recently you've been like, nah, I'm taking action. Like, I'm just going to do me and trust that the right things are going to happen. And like they always do. Everything always happens for a reason. And I know that's a lot harder depending on the circumstance that you're in to accept. But if that's what you needed to hear today, there you go. So it's gallantry. I like that. So it says, Sweet William, small, has form and aspect bright, like that sweet flower that yields great joy of delight. Grant me a single smile. Okay, I'm also getting, so maybe this is the twin flame aspect just coming in for this part of the reading, but I am feeling like there's also someone potentially in your life who's sort of waiting in the wings, who's a little bit, annoyed or impatient. So I'm getting that there's like someone, it's just like a funny image. That's why I'm smiling to myself. But it's like someone is sitting, like, I don't know. Some of these images that are coming to mind are kind of like, kind of like creepy. My ear's really, really itchy right now. Okay. One of the things I'm seeing is someone like you sitting in your room and then like this person sitting in your closet and just sort of watching you and being upset that you're not giving them attention when like they never told you that they were in the closet. So it's like they're watching you going, oh my God, I can't believe. Like it's almost like, when you're younger and you're playing hide and seek, then you go, oh my gosh, is like it's not actually that fun to be the last person found because the glory is just sad, like you were there alone. There's a comedian, I'm sure, who has a bit about that. But so it's like that kind of same idea of, everyone's just busy without that person. And so then you're kind of getting annoyed, like, when are you going to find me? When are you going to find me? It's like, well, you didn't tell me that's where you were. So how would I have known, right? And another thing I'm seeing here is someone watching you in your life, and so you're like with other people, and so they're watching you living your life and being happy about it, and something about that is upsetting to them because they're saying like, you can be so happy with all these other people but not with me, or there's some sort of like, it might be like a past friendship, because there was that friendship card that came out too. It might be a past friendship, but someone is like onlooking your life and being a little bit upset because they're worried that their life is maybe going to be left. I don't know. It's a very like different energy. There's a few different ones. So let me know which part of that kind of resonates with you, or which doesn't. You might be like, oh, my situation's like this, but it wasn't like that. That's cool too, because you're meant to take whatever resonates. So that might be something that's going on, just to be aware of. I'm actually going to pull a Sacred Traveler card on that. I'm I'm just curious, like what pathway that, I don't know, that connection is taking. There's something strange about it to me. I'm in such a strange, like, why I have my limb up like this? You can't really see that easily. No, that's not a system that's going to work because then you won't be able to see me. Well, I should ask actually, does anyone want to just see the cards only in the readings rather than my face? Because I am happy to, not have to be on camera, but I don't mind being on camera. Most people have said that they enjoy watching me without that sounding conceited. Most people have said that they enjoy watching like my face, but I would like to know, does anyone want any readings that are simply the cards, like where you would see something like this and it would be a layout, like maybe I would have to, move everything so that it could angle up, or I don't know. You let me know. You let me know in the comments. We talk about that later. Okay. There's like no hope in saving the framing because I didn't even spend that much time today setting it up in the first place. I really just wanted this video out there so that, you could get all this weekly reading stuff in, and maybe I'll get to more twin flame readings throughout the week. Okay. So I pulled some Sacred Traveler cards, but there's a bunch of them in here, so I am going to use it as the reading continues. So it says the answers are within, taking shelter. So this person, people in your life. So we're going to have this be pretty broad because this is a weekly reading. So remember, there's, however many people now watching this one reading throughout time, because sometimes people will go back to readings. You kind of have to take that into consideration. And in general, there's some people who are in, partnerships, and some people who are not, who are listening to this. Like I have like some divides of what lifestyle people are currently living. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But what we're getting told about that connection, potentially that friendship or that twin flame or romantic connection, the person who is sort of looking from the sidelines onto your life, and potentially you're feeling uncomfortable with it. Potentially you might be feeling like you just need to move on from that situation, or you might be feeling as though this person just needs to stop hiding, right? Like, so however it is that you're feeling about that person or that situation is fine. I don't feel like they're of danger to you, but I also feel like you don't need to be going and clearing out all your closets just to find them. Like, I don't feel like it's worthy of all the attention. I think you have other things on your plate right now, and there's a lot of other things going on that are better, better uses of your time, quite frankly. And so taking shelter, all the answers are within. This is really about trusting your own input and your own voice. I am getting a sense that if you were to give some of these other people in your life all this, maybe if you were to like ask for their advice a lot, you would get a lot of feedback, and then it would be very hard to discern what is your next call. So it feels like whatever this next chapter is for you in your life, you're going to have to make these decisions on your own. And that might be also something that you're not that used to, making decisions really quickly or for yourself. It might feel like it's been a long time since you've had this type of personal responsibility. And that's an exciting thing. So I'm very excited for us in this collective, of getting this experience right now. So this is what you need to know the rest of the week. Healing energy flows through you, the mystic healer. I believe this is what people see in you. I believe if you're here, that this is what others see in you, because part of my mission here is to help other people with their self-healing journey so that you can continue helping others with theirs, et cetera, down the line. And we, self-heal the world. So I do believe that if you're here, you do have this mystic healer side of you that, is obviously drawn to the messages here, or the helping the collective, helping the world, and or just reaching your own heart and connecting to your own heart. There's lots of ways that we can heal, even if it's healing entirely what's within us so that the people in our small community and small ripple around us are positively affected, right? I kept hearing this a lot this week, which is why I'm wanting to share it. But I was hearing it a lot that, to let everyone know that you don't need to take a large amount of people on as the amount of people you need to help or save or protect at this time. You can take however many on, and either way, you're doing good. I personally am someone who genuinely wants to help a very large number of people throughout my lifetime. And I also have a strong desire to help a smaller, out of that large number, a smaller number really deeply, radically transform their life so that they may be charged up to be leaders, right? So there's all different varieties of how I would love to help people. And there's also, like that's just my career focus. When I think about my life, there's also people who I hope that, I assist in some way as they assist me in, a mutual friendship. And in that way, I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to realize how many people we are helping currently at this time, and how, the universe and nature doesn't expect you to be a savior. That's not the expectation put on you. So to release that so that you may actually step into the role a lot better. Okay. Whew, that was a lot. There's obviously some mystic healers in this group because you needed a telling what for. Anyway. Infinite Abundance is another card coming up for us this week in the collective. It says abundance is pouring into your life. I love that. In the flow. This one was upside down. I'm getting the feeling like this is reminding me, there's been a lot of like dizziness and weightlessness, and also like off balance. Like I feel like there's been a lot of balance. I know I personally, normally when I have balance issues, I'd be walking into things. And so I know it's not mine because I haven't been doing that lately, but I will get these feelings of like a rush or a feeling of being off kilter, off balance. Something that you can do is some soft neck stretches, really like slow movements, resting your body. Sometimes, you just get dizzy because you need to stop and you just need to lie down and just rest and be for a little while. So if you've been feeling kind of that opposite of in the flow, try being for a little bit. If you are in the flow, then congratulations, keep in it. That's awesome. Something that I've also been getting a lot lately, personally and for the collective, is to maintain and to hold steady the energy currently that you have. And so it's like a continue to hold your light. And that's funny, it just like all lightened up. Continue to hold your light and hold it strong so that you may be a beacon for others. Okay. Okay. This is funny. This is my favorite card in the deck, I will say. I didn't realize that I'd pulled it because it was at the bottom of the pile that I was reading. I kept just, taking one off the pile that I had picked up. So I knew that there in this deck was a card that said, "You're a beacon for others." And so I was using that beacon reference, and then I laughed thinking, "Oh, I'm using the Sacred Traveler. It's too bad that card didn't show up yet." And it was the next card. So wise leader. This feels like a really high vibe leadership focused week. Like it really does feel like that's the people who are tuning into this energy right now. And that's what's going on for you. And I believe this is what people around you are noticing. So they're noticing and picking up on the fact that you're taking charge for things differently, that you're seeing your life as one of your own design, and that you're keeping your own light going. And they're like, how are they doing that? It's almost like people are used to seeing you depleted, actually, which is very interesting. But people are used to seeing you depleted and, in lacking of that natural brightness that you have. And now that you've begun to refocus, recenter, really find your own light, now other people are able to see that. And so they're able to celebrate it with you. And it honestly feels like they're noticing in themselves where they're missing the light. And so it's not going to come back at you the same way you worried. Like I think you were worried because this is what was going on in the collective, a little while ago. It's like you were worried that if you stepped into your power, it might like blow other people out of the water. It might like unsettle others, and it might upset people around you, or it might make them feel bad, often it doesn't have to be so dramatic as like people are going to hate me if I do this and this. It's just sometimes it's like I just don't want to make that person feel bad by making this much money or doing this thing with my life or spending time with blank 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 people, right? Okay, Limitless inner power is the message that just came out, as well as clearing energy. Okay, so how can we be clearing energy this week to provide us with energy? Okay, great. Limitless says, see yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. And how true is this? You never know how things are going to turn out or how you're going to, land those things that you've always dreamed of or always wanted. But when you're open, and in that receiving state, which is something I've mentioned sort of here and there, if you don't know what it means, obviously, I'm happy to share that with you and do a session and, help you understand how to shift back into it. But this receiving state is really one of allowing rather than taking in. And so that's something that really feels a lot easier on us now, to accept that you are limitless in your power. I really am drawn to there may be some Leos watching, or this might have some like Leo, like lion, king like energy here. I've been getting a lot of Lion King references in my head recently, actually. So if you're like really attached to that movie, this message might be, especially for you. It says, give me the courage and the power to do what must be done. And that's honestly what I'm feeling. It's feeling like, okay, you've heard calls, you've, taken little actions, you've doubted yourself, and then you stop doubting yourself. And like, now what's left? What's left is, the age of Aquarius and your frontier into the world, and you exiting the womb to say, listen, okay, this is my full embodiment now. In this time before, I was just growing and understanding and nourishing myself, and now here I am. The clearing bit is also very interesting. And it says, yeah, and it's about shifting from just you and from what's just going on for you to being able to hold space for finally what's going on around you in your highest alignment. So now it's almost like you needed to look at what was going on outside you, retreat within, look from there and go, do I really want to change this? Exit your shell, deal with it, then retreat again to be like, did I clear it up? Or, did something just explode and it's sort of, just a dead zone now, and it's just sort of like everything decaying, and you're sort of sad because you're sitting there in your shell, and this is just before the breakthrough, right? Like, you're sitting in your shell going, I don't know if I figured it out, there's all this stuff, like this wasteland around me, looks like the ashes, doesn't look like this phoenix is rising up. And then suddenly, you have this clearing and this shift where you're like, nothing more is wrong with me. It's like when people say sometimes you have to get to rock bottom. I don't believe that we have to go to rock bottom in order to feel better, but I do understand what they're saying, which is that when you have been at a rock bottom place and there is seriously no way that you can fathom anything getting worse, from that point when things start to get better, it's like everything is just monumentally or exponentially better because of the comparison relative to where you were, right? So this is what it feels like. It feels like you're moving from a place that just is so beyond your present moment awareness. It's like so not in your current vibe at all. And so you're in this new shell, just poking your head out to like new, and you don't have to deal with all of that. Like, this is like the Phoenix moment. It really does feel like that. And it has felt like that the last little while. So if you've been feeling that shift lately, you need a dark chocolate break. It's a really nice dark chocolate because it's bergamot. And yeah, bergamot is an antidepressant. And cacao is like heartwarming and antidepressant. This is a dark chocolate that's low sugar. It's very, very nice. Anyways. Woo. Okay. That, I believe, is for the Twin Flame Collective. So I'm going to pause this soon and start that reading so that I have time to post all these. I'm hoping this gets uploaded by the end of the night tonight, but if it comes up Tuesday, I'm sorry. And you can still apply it to whenever you watch it, whenever you receive it. I just wanted to receive a little bit more guidance for us for the week ahead, because this wasn't a pick a card, and so I just want, more detail here so that you can get what you need. Okay. Yeah, what's a focus? What's a focus? Okay. Awesome. So we have Melchizedek, which is higher learning, and then Saint Germain, which is karma releasing. So move beyond drama, create your own path. And I'm actually going to add walk your own path. It doesn't even feel like you're creating it. It feels like at this point it's created and you see it. And the only step now is to walk it, like literally just walk the path. Then it says make room for good energy. And I feel like if you have a little bit more, there might be just a little more room to shift, but I feel like you've actually really done a good job of making way for good energy, and that this is actually affirming that this is the last bit of your, karma releasing and clearing of this cycle, and then you're moving into action. So that's very exciting. This higher learning card is really, it's very like mystical, very interesting image. And it says, you have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. And so, what I'm actually understanding about this is that you've developed higher learning than you actually understand at this point. That this walking the path of your own heart is going to start showing you all the things that you've learned. So, it might be hard for you to take stock in all that you've picked up in this time of healing that you've just sort of been reaching the end of here. And there's no end to healing. So please don't, misunderstand me to think that I'm just telling you you're almost done healing, because that's not what I mean. But we do go in cycles of transformation, and some parts are harder and some parts are easier, right? So I like letting us know where we're going on different dips, and trying to be able to ride those waves and make them softer is sort of the goal, right? One more here. Yeah, Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Yeah, that rounds us out. So says, stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. So there is a good opportunity for you to be able to speak up this week, speak your truth, to progress, to continue walking the path of your heart. I'm very excited for all of us, in this collective. And please do feel free to book a call with me down below. I've got all of the links in there. I will let you guys know of updates as soon as I, make them. I'm very, very close. I've just launched these Sunday Soul Circles, and Align Your Life is coming back. It's going to come back as like a workshop in a group format to make it more accessible and bring more people into it. So first, we're doing Sunday Soul Circles. That starts February the 3rd, Sunday. But you'll see all of that below, and I will continue announcing it in these, and I will hope to see you there. It'll be like this, except in real time with me live, and with your questions, and with you there with me, which is so nice. Okay, so I've got all of the links down below, and I will see you soon. Take care, everyone.